Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this LinkedIn training, Why You Are Not Getting Interviews. I hope you are all having a fantastic week so far and that you are looking forward to this short training where we're going to be deep diving into the three key reasons why you're not getting interviews and two very practical and strategic tips on how to help you to then secure the interviews you will desire. Okay, so let's dive right into because it is not uncommon to be in a position when you start to send numbers of CVs, dozens of CVs, even hundreds of CVs, and unfortunately, you are not either getting called for interviews or the number of calls you're actually getting calls from is very, very small. So there's a bit of discrepancy. You think, oh my God, I'm just going to send tons and tons and tons of CVs, but then the calls are not coming. So this is not uncommon, okay? And I want you to know that you are not alone. This is not happening just to you, it is happening to a number of people. But the good news is there is a way around it, okay? Because this actually happened to me. Before I left my banking career and I started to be a career coach, well, before I even knew I wanted to become a career coach, I sent out dozens of CVs and I didn't even got a call for one interview even. Okay, so this is happened, and after that, I understood exactly why this was happening to me, and I know why this happens to some of my clients, and we work together to overcome it. Okay, so the top three reasons here they are. I know you are waiting to hear this. Okay, so top number one is by far you don't know what you want. Okay, again, this is exactly what I was going through, and this is exactly what my clients that work with me to obtain career clarity go through. You feel kind of stuck, you feel lost in the current career that you're at, you're not happy for some reason. Either you want a big change in careers, or you just have a difficult manager and you want a new job. Whatever might be the reason, but reality is you don't know exactly what you are looking for. So therefore, you start to send CVs almost randomly. I say it right. You see a job, think, yeah, I think I could do it. Send a CV. Yeah, I think I could be a good fit. I send another CV. Sometimes you don't even finish reading the job descriptions. I know I used to do that, but you see the job, say, yeah, this is what they're looking for. Great, I'm going to send it out. So with all of this, you are planting too many seeds, okay? I always use the analogy of a garden. Like if you have, let's say, a small garden, right? And you plant tons and tons and tons of seeds, then not all gonna blossom. Maybe not even one's gonna blossom perfectly into this perfect flower that you want because there's just too many things in there. The space is too crowded. And that happens because, when employers or potential recruiters, they start to understand that you're just sending tons and tons of CVs, this doesn't play on your benefit. And also from a mindset perspective, if you don't know what you want, you really want to be called into an interview, or you are acting a little bit in desperation mode because you just want to get out of where you are and then you just throw your CVs. So the first step really is to gain clarity. What is it that you want? Okay, find two to three job titles that you're very keen on getting them because this is really what you want, and then make your efforts towards those roles, okay, rather than just randomly exhausting yourself in desperation mode and sending tons and tons and tons of CVs. That's never really beneficial for you. Okay, so this is your first reason, you don't know what you want. So you need to get clarity on, I always say up to two to three job titles. It's amazing, right? This is really the goal that you should have. The second reason really is because you are sending CVs, just randomly, then your CV is not actually tailored to those roles. So you demonstrate or you share all of your past work experience, but it's a bit generic because a CV should really be tailored, should be like almost a great match between your skills that you are presenting and the job title that you're applying for and the skills that you need for that job that are included within the job description. So your CV is just too generic. And if it's too generic, I mean, of course, you are conveying your value, you are sharing your experience, it is there. But the downside to it is that actually It's not this great fit that employers will pick it up and say, oh, yeah, I can see the skills I'm looking for. So it's not a winning CV. And you want your CV to be as strong as possible because let's face it, when you apply for a new job, the recruiter or employer that are filtering the CVs, they don't know you, okay? All they know about you at that point in time is not, what a great professional you are, how committed you are, or whatever. Is really just a piece of paper. So you want that piece of paper, you need that piece of paper to be as strong as possible when conveying how great a job you can do if you are to be successful in that application, okay? So your CV really should be tailored to it, right? It's like having the perfect outfit for a date. It makes a difference, right? Like for you to score some points. It's the same. You need your business card, you need your CV to be as tailored, to be as perfect as possible to that specific role you are applying for, okay? That's your second reason. Your CV is not tailored. Then your third reason will be your full value is not truly well articulated. What do I mean by that? I'm sure you heard me talking about transferable skills. Your CV should be based on transferable skills and not be a pure list of stuff you've done. It's not a list of achievements. It's a way of you conveying, of you demonstrating the professional value that you have. So it should be based on your skills and not being a list of achievements because you don't want to be seen, just as someone that does stuff, or you don't want to be seen as a jack of all trades. No, you want to, when someone picks up your CV, to see that you are a perfect fit for whatever is the role that you are applying for. Okay, this goes hand in hand with the fact that the CV must be tailored, right? So that is it really. So these are the top three reasons. I'm just going to quickly recap before I move on to the strategies on how to help you to get more interviews, okay? So the first one is you don't know what you want. So the remedy, the solution is get clear. Know what you want. Come up with 2 to 3 job titles that you really want and focus on those. Second reason, your CV is not tailored. So again, solution, make sure that you know what those job roles are and then tailor your CV to those. Third reason, your value is not fully well articulated within your CV. Again, the solution, the remedy is make sure that your CV illustrates all of your skill set, all of your transferable skills that are great in those roles that you are applying for. So make sure your CV is based on skills and that it's key, it's a great match to the roles that you are applying for. Okay, so moving on, so you know the reasons, you know what's potentially going wrong. What can you do about it? Well, one is obvious, right? Look at your CV, rewrite your CV. Again, look at transferable skills, look at your personality traits. How can you convey your deep interest into the role you are applying for, right? Every CV should have a summary at the top. Convey that in there. Okay, what are the key things that you want a recruiter or an employer to think about when they think of you? What do you want them to stick in their head, right? What are you going to be remembered for, I guess, when you leave a conversation, when you leave the interview room? So stick it in there. Either if you're changing careers, why are you changing careers? Why is this such an area of passion? If you're going like with like, okay, why do you want to continue? And illustrate how many years of experience, how much relatable experience you have, and then demonstrate your full value, okay? You need to ensure that your CV is up to scratch. You want it to be a winning CV. So you want the skills that the role are asking for to be bang, there, right front in your CV. As soon as someone picks it up, oh yes, ticking the box, tick, 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 she has it, he has it has everything that I need. Okay, so this is a good, strong potential candidate. I'm going to call them in for an interview, right? That is it. So you really need to make sure that your CV is amazing. Then second element is how do you actually network with recruiters? Because the big majority of banks, big majority of big organizations do go through recruiting companies, and even if they don't have or they don't work with a separate recruiting company, they have someone within their HR department that is responsible for recruitment. So is how do you network with these recruiters? Well, first of all, remember what I was saying in terms of being clear in terms of what you want. This is exactly what you need to convey to the recruiter. Okay, you need to let them know what is it that you want. You need to be very clear, you need to be precise, you need to be specific, because if in their head they can associate your name with a specific job title, it makes their life a lot easier rather than just having an open conversation about who you are. Again, not being the jack of all trades, right? You really want them to associate yourself with a particular type of role, right? This is really what you want to do. For example, if you go and buy a car, right? If you go to a car dealership and you say, oh yes, and then the car dealership asks you, okay, what type of car are you looking for? And if you just want a little bit of everything, if you say, oh, I love sports car, but I also have a family, so like a decent sized car actually suits me, and I love brands like BMW and Mercedes, but I also like Peugeot and Skoda and Renault and this and that. I mean, can you see how vague that is? The car salesperson, I mean, they won't be able to point you into, okay, I think this would be a great fit. It will confuse them about what you are looking for. So it will be hard for them to really pinpoint the perfect car for you. The same goes for a job. If you go for to have a conversation with a recruiter, right? Even your introduction, and you just explain how much you can do and how amazing you are and how can you be a good fit in front office, middle office, and back office, and in controls, and in risk, and in sales, and this and that. It's just too much, right? For them, they're not associating your name with any particular role. And guess what? If that happens when the conversation is over, it's kind of forgotten. It's a lot better if you are, niche down. If you're like, yes, I've done all of that, but I'm really interested in this and these role types because I have all of this experience. I'll be a great fit, and explain how you're going to be a great role in there. So when you finish the conversation, they're going to be like, oh, okay, Joanna, she's good at this and she's good at that. If I have these sort of roles, I'm going to be thinking of her. So that makes their life easier. And when you make their life easier, guess what? They remind themselves of you a lot more. You get stick to their head. It's a lot better, right? Because that's what you want when you're networking with a recruiter. You want to create a bit of an impact so that they will remind themselves of your name. They will think of you when a specific role comes in, but not if any role comes in. You don't want that again, right? You want to be specific and articulate once again why your past experience is such a great fit to that particular role. Even if you're changing careers, how can your past experience be translated, right, into this new role? This is what you want to articulate. And then a pro tip when it comes to recruiters, make sure you find some kind of professional chemistry, right? Like with any relationship in life, you need to have some kind of connection, some kind of chemistry, right, for it to work, so that it's not a dreadful conversation or that you force yourself to speak to them. No, it needs to be a pleasant relationship, a pleasant conversation. So make sure you work with someone where, that little bit of a connection exists, right? So as I said, it is not uncommon to find yourself in a position where you're not getting a lot of interviews, but I gave you a lot of kind of key points to look at. So go back, reflect on those, and try to understand, okay, this is what I know that is, there's a bit of a fall down. So work on that, right? And you can do that on your own, or if you want to fast track your results, work with an expert. You can come and chat with me if you want, and we can, pinpoint what is going wrong. If it's either kind of, you're not clear of what you want, so you're just applying randomly to everything. If it's your CV that's kind of falling you down a little bit, it's kind of failing you a little bit. Or actually, if it's the way that you articulate yourself, even in an interview, right? If you're getting a few interviews, not a lot, but a few interviews, and then you're not kind of progressing, then what you need to do is some interview preparation, right? And we can do mock interviews together. So take a look at, if you're looking for a job and you're not getting it, particularly if you're not getting interviews, take a look at all the key points I've mentioned to you today, see what's failing you, and if you want to work with an expert to really fast track your results, to really start to see interviews coming through, come and chat with me, okay? It will be my pleasure to help you and to support you in that journey. So we can go from there. So that's it from me today. It's a very short and practical training. I hope you've enjoyed it. As always, if you have any comments, please post it on the video. If you watched the replay, just let me know that you've watched it. Let me know if this was useful for you, if you have anything to add, if you have any questions, and if you want either share some thoughts, or if you want to have a chat with me about your specific situation, come and DM me and let's go from there. Great. So thank you so much all for listening. I hope to connect with you all again very, very soon. And I wish you a great rest of Wednesday that's ahead of us. Thank you. Bye.